government's withdrawal of support from Mthunzi Mdwaba's campaign to be the next Director General of the International Labour Organization sends a wrong signal to the world. That's according to former Statistician-General Pali Lehohla, who says it doesn't bode well for the country's participation in the UN multilateral system. Lehohla describes the unceremonious stance as shambolic. He's written an opinion piece on this. Dr. Lehohla, a member of the Indlula Mithi South Africa Scenarios 2030 project, joins me now for that particular discussion. So I had a conversation with Mthunzi Mdwaba a few days ago, Mr. Lehohla, in which basically he was downplaying the significance of South Africa withdrawing its support, at least at a government level, because he says he still enjoys the support of the other sectors, labour and business, as well as the support of a number of countries in the region and on the African continent. He's downplaying the impact in as far as voting is concerned, but you believe it's still significant and it says a lot about government?
Well, it does. Obviously, it does. Whatever reasons they may put forward for withdrawing this, the way in which they have surreptitiously not explained why they are withdrawing to the nation, it's suspicious and not right. The nation needs to know why he was supported and why he's not supported now. That's a very important principle of democracy. That is not said. Smacks of arrogance on the part of government. Whatever they know about Mdwaba, they must say they know this about this man to the public. Mdwaba, if he goes to ILO, he represents the pride of the country. He's just not going there for himself. Of course, when he's there, he's a bureaucrat of the international civil service, but he still comes from South Africa. And when he's done duty, when he comes to South Africa, he has to do duty on the basis of the experience he would have acquired. So it cannot be that this is not a matter for government. It cannot be that it gets support from the labor, it gets support from the private sector, and not from government. Government is government. It's not a set of boys running away from the millie field saving store and millies. The behavior and conduct is one of that. So it's not very, very good in terms of optics or in terms of principles that they have just withdrawn in the way they have without saying what are the reasons. I mean, we have Mthunzi Mdwaba coming back from there, having done duty. We are very happy about it. And the reception that she got back was that of a hero that went and did what she was supposed to do in the world and presented and represented not only continent and the world, but she is a South African. So if we don't understand memory of what an individual is about in their own country, in those spaces, then we have not appreciated what happens in multilateral systems.
Yeah. So one of the things that has left me puzzled, Mr. Lehohla, and I've also, I don't think we've heard enough from government, are the reasons why, initially he was put forward as this is our candidate, this is our man, and I don't understand what then transpired, within a space of a few weeks. In fact, we spoke to him a few days ago. Just take a listen to what Mthunzi Mdwaba told me, and then we can pick up the conversation from there.
In terms of the country in South Africa, it does carry significance because one could perhaps say it's one of those very treasonous acts that one doesn't want to spend too much on. And I call it treasonous very guidedly when I say that. But in terms of, and also because the cabinet, for some reason, decided not to consult me, nor consult NEDLAC. You must remember that I was endorsed by COSATU, by FEDUSA, by NACTU, by Business Unity South Africa, all the social partners at NEDLAC. All of these were not consulted. So from a South African point of view, yes, it is significant. And you would have seen on social media, there's a flurry of goodwill. I've been overwhelmed by the support that the real South Africans have for me. And when I say the real South Africans, I mean from all walks of life, young people, women, men, everything, organizations, institutions. But in terms of the global forum, it carries absolutely zero significance. You must remember, I am a Southern African developing country's candidate, a SADC candidate, tripartite at that, in that it was approved by the trade unions, by the employers, and by all the governments of SADC. And then I was endorsed by the African Union as well. So my candidacy is a SADC African Union candidacy, not a South African candidacy, point number one. Point number two, South Africa is not a voter.
So, Pali Lehohla, you say that this says something about whether or not South Africa is seeking to assert itself as being influential within the broader international relations space, as well as the civil service, in as far as the institutions that are aligned to the United Nations.
I don't think it is. I mean, the posture is just stupid, outright stupid, downright stupid, to do this kind of thing of supporting an individual and then coming back and saying they withdraw their support. At the very least, they owe the country to say why they have withdrawn the support. That's what we need, because things do happen in the course of time that people change their mind. But supporting and changing your mind, you owe it to the voting public that this is why you are changing your mind. This is very, disgraceful to Mdwaba's family, to the society in South Africa, that the government does things so shambolically. It doesn't look like they understand that they are representing people. Although Mdwaba says that he's a SADC African Union, he is a South African in the first instance. And the fault lines between trade union, NEDLAC, and the government are going to be showing themselves up in that space. This is not a small matter. It's a very big matter where a country acts opposite to what it has supported and its mum on why it does so. That's a matter of democracy. It's a basic democratic principle that it owes us an explanation, both Mdwaba's family and us.
I've got to leave it there. Thank you for that. That's Pali Lehohla there from Indlulamiti, South Africa Scenarios 2030. Not mincing his words. He says it's absolutely stupid what has happened in this instance, and we are owed answers as South Africans about that campaign of Mthunzi Mdwaba for the ILO Secretary General.